Hey guys, it's Dom here, and today what we're going to be doing is looking at a few cards that are already in the game but have no ability, and basically we're going to be just giving them something that they could do to help some form of archetype. Just 'cause I feel like these cards over the years have become very redundant, and they're ones that you'd see new players running when they start the game just because they don't have a full collection, but as they build up their collection, these cards basically just get thrown to the side. So it'd be nice if they could have like some form of use which either gets given over levels or just straight up replaced to, so people want to keep playing them. And without further ado, we'll get on to probably one of the cards which I mock the most, which is Forager. So originally it's a 2-cost 2/2 with no ability, but I'm thinking of changing it to a 3-cost 1/2, which will draw you a card and then you gain health equal to that card's cost. The reason why I'm increasing the cost by 1 is just because this could actually give you a lot of health if you draw, say, like Alduin. It could give you 20 extra health. Well, if you just draw like some 0-cost curse card, it's not going to give you anything. And it's that kind of uncertainty which is what makes it need to be a bit more kind of cost-wise. And the reason why the stats are 1/2, that's what Thieves Guild Recruit is. So I thought, have stuff like that. Okay, so next we have the Imperial Legionnaire. I've changed the artwork on this one just because when I put it into the card maker, it was really zoomed in and looks weird, so this just looks a bit better. And I was thinking of keeping the stats the same, but making it an epic with the ability Slay, give this card a token, or the word token could be changed at a later date for something which works a bit better. When this card's destroyed, it will summon Imperial Grunts up to the number of tokens on this card. So it works with Imperials for the sake of Swarm, and can really end up filling up your lanes just if, you know, you end up kind of slaying a lot with this card. I was tempted to give it Slay and Pilfer, but I thought that would seem a bit too powerful for an epic, and something like this would just kind of be very nice for Swarm decks, which all use Imperials and get lots of buffs through supports. Okay, so onto agility, we have the An-Zahil Invader, which is basically just a generic 4-cost 5/3 combatant lookalike card. So I was thinking maybe make it an epic or even a rare, to be honest. It's not that great, and what it does is Veteran, increase the cost of a card in your opponent's hand by 2. So the way this would work is you'd basically get to choose a card, but obviously you wouldn't get to see any of them unless you've had something like Grey Fox go on and reveal the card. So let's say Grey Fox reveals Alduin, for instance, you could then tap Alduin or just the back of any other card in their hand. So this is actually quite nice just to kind of give you that flexibility, but at the same time is also only going to get off that ability once and does kind of keep to what it was originally, hence no stat change. So over in intelligence we have Redoran Enforcer, which is just a 2-cost 2/3 usually, but I was thinking of giving it the additional effect, summon shackle an enemy creature with 2 power or less. The reason why this is kind of a very weak ability is just because there's quite a few shackle cards already in the game, like the Harpy, and having something which has pretty decent stats, but then a limitation on its ability is probably something which would seem fair. This would basically be used as something to stop cards of lethal, and realistically this is a guard. He's only going to be able to stop something within his power, so there is actually some logical means behind the effect as well, and it would fit into those like House Drez shackle decks, which are pretty cool but very rare. And in endurance we have the Stone Tooth Scrapper, a 4-cost 4/5, and I actually made it worsely statted originally, so it's a 7-cost 5/5, but then I gave it the ability that it costs 1 less for each orc you control. So this is something that works like those action cards added within Jaws of Oblivion, where they cost less depending on how many whatevers have happened this turn or something like that. And this really works well with orcs, just because orcs are all about kind of working together and giving abilities off each other. So this means the more that you have, the less this will cost. And if you've got 7 other orcs on the board, this will literally be a free drop for the last card and have some pretty decent stats. And finally, the one that I wanted to make a legendary is the Blue Claw Matron, a 7-cost 3/8, which is becoming a 7-cost 4/8, which when summoned will gain cover, and when it pilfers, it will destroy an enemy support. So this goes off the fact that there's that other Drow, however you meant to say it, card, which when summoned will destroy a support. This would basically be used as an anti-support card, which has cover in either lane, so it's pretty hard for your opponent just to straight up swamp. And that initial ability of gaining cover as well will be really useful if your opponent's low and doesn't have any guards, and it can kind of apprehend a bit of removal. So something like this would be quite interesting to see in the game, and could actually build on an archetype for the cards. But that's all I got for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's a bit of a strange one, but all of mine are a bit like that. Make sure to hit thumbs up and subscribe because, you know, it makes me feel better. And anyway, I'll just see you next time for whatever that is.